Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. And today is Thursday, December 14th, and the new transit starts tomorrow on Friday the 15th. If you want to see the report on the transit that's literally happening today, you can go here and check that out. But otherwise, what we're going to focus on is the change that's going to start happening tomorrow. So go ahead and stay tuned and we'll dive right in. One piece of big news, which isn't just this week, is that Mercury has just gone retrograde. Okay, it went retrograde yesterday. It's going to be retrograde through January 2nd. So Mercury is going retrograde in the gate 58, and then it's going to retrograde back over all of the distance through the Human Design Mandala that it's been going on since November 22nd. So it started in this cycle November 22nd. It went forward through the gates. Now it's going to retrograde back. And then when it goes direct on January 2nd, it's going to go forward through those gates again. So the thing to know about that is it's just Mercury is lighting up these same gates in different ways for an extended period of time. So Mercury is in the gate 58 now. It's going to retrograde back into the gate 10 on the 20th. It's going to retrograde back into the gate 11 on Christmas. And then it's going to retrograde back into the gate 26 on New Year's Eve. So we're going to be moving back and forward on January 2nd, and it's going to go back through those same gates. So you can let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a video just on this Mercury retrograde, because that could be kind of fun. And I'd be happy to do that. So if you let me know, I just might do it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the current Sun and Earth transit, which is the typical subject of these reports. So in this transit that starts tomorrow, the Sun is highlighting the gate 11, which interestingly enough is one of the gates that's being highlighted in Mercury's journey as well. So as we talk about this, you can take it and apply it to what you're learning about the Mercury retrograde too. So the gate 11 is on the Ajna center, and it's in the sensing circuit, and it's right over here on the left-hand side of the body. It's in the Ajna, heading down to the throat. And in traditional human design, it's known as ideas. People who have this defined in their chart often have many ideas. And then in quantum human design, it's known as the Conceptualist, which to me is kind of like the person who has the ideas. So I'm not exactly sure what that distinction is. The characteristic that I'm familiar with, particularly from people who have this defined in their chart, is that they tend to be really abundant in terms of the number of ideas that they have. So while the Sun is lighting this up, you might be noticing that you have a lot of mental activity. There's a lot of different ideas that are pouring through. You might also see this in other people who are coming up with lots and lots of ideas. Now, this can be a huge benefit for us because we're often thinking about things and wanting to have new perspectives. The thing about the 11, though, is it can be overwhelming. So if this happens for you, one of the things you might want to do is just regularly be writing down ideas as they're coming through. And the ideas that you get, just know they're not necessarily all for you. They may not be for you now. They may not be for you at all. They may be for other people in your life. So don't worry if you get ideas and you're like, well, that's interesting. Like you can tell it's like not for you. And then when you have a conversation with somebody a few days later, you go, oh, that idea is for you, right? Don't ever get into scarcity about your ideas. Like, I can't give them away or I can't share them, because you're going to have plenty. When the Sun is lighting up the 11, we're going to have so many different ideas that are available to us. The question is going to be is what's actually relevant right now. So one of the things you might want to go through your list of ideas for, and if you're a generator, you can use your sacral authority for this. If you're a projector or a reflector, you may need to talk it through. The manifestor is just kind of going to get the sense from their own motorized throat. about it, if this is something they want to initiate, take action on. So write down the ideas, like do a brain dump. It can be very cleansing for the mind to write them all down and just kind of be like, okay, this energy is all here. It's out of my head. It's here on my notebook or in my journal, wherever it is, right? And then you can be going through and going, okay, is this an idea for me now? So I'm going to do this with sacral authority because that's what I have, but use the authority that you have. So you go through, is this idea for me now? Mm-mm. Is this idea for me but later? Okay, so it's for me but later, right? And I won't necessarily know when later is, okay, but not for now. So I need to check in if I still feel drawn to it later on. Is this an idea for someone else now? Mm-mm. Is this an idea for someone else later? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this an idea for me now? Mm-mm. Is this an idea for somebody else? Mm-mm. Is this idea for nobody right now? Mm-mm. Okay, then you can just kind of put it aside, because sometimes you actually get things that come in that aren't going to be relevant for a few years. I don't have the 11 defined in my chart, but I definitely have experienced that. It may have been when the sun was transiting the 11 like it is now, or another one of the planets. So it's good to be able to manage the amount of information that can be coming through. Now, it may be that you don't experience that kind of avalanche of ideas. And if that's the case, you still want to be paying attention to, well, what is it that's coming through that I haven't really known about before or paid attention to? Now, it does tend to be pretty cerebral. It is in the ajna, right? But it is in the sensing circuit. So it's not rational. It's not logical. It's not strategic. It's more experiential. It's more embodied. It's more abstract. It could be more spiritual. So it may not appear like an idea the same way that you always maybe can think of them as. So I just really encourage a lot of journaling during this time, a lot of writing things down, a lot of kind of mulling things over, taking things with you and feeling them out and seeing what, if any of these, are something that I want to kind of grab a hold of and move on in my life sooner than later. The sun in the gate 11 is resting on the earth in the gate 12. So the 12 is on the throat, but it's in the knowing circuit, which is individual circuitry. So the quality of the energy is different than that of the 11. Like I said, the 11 is the conceptualist, its ideas. It tends to be a bit cerebral. The 12 is known as caution in traditional human design, or channel in quantum human design. It is on the throat, and it is about being able to bring through leading edge ideas, leading edge possibilities, potentials that may show up in different ways than ideas. Like they may show up as sound, they may show up as images or pictures, because it is highly intuitive. But because it's on the throat, it is about this idea about being able to channel through divine guidance that's coming in through that knowing circuit, especially since it's on an open throat. I have an open throat. I actually have the 12 on an open throat, which is like the mega channel. So you want to look for yourself. If you have an open throat, then you're going to have the 12 on that open throat, which is going to mean there may be things that pop out of your mouth that you're like, wow, where did that come from? Who had that thought? Who had that idea? Again, a great opportunity for writing things down, journaling, sketching, writing songs, making dances, using your creative powers to channel through that which wants to come in. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I talk about the huge benefit that we have of the knowing circuit, in that it is helping us to really think outside the box, right? We're at a time here on planet Earth where we need like solutions and ideas and possibilities and potentials that are really outside the box, right? We've been in the box and it's done a lot of good things for us, but it also is confining us, and there are certain things that we really have to change in order to heal our planet and to heal our relationships with different aspects of humanity, right, and of the living world. So if we're going to do that, we need to do things differently than we have been doing them before. So this whole alignment, it can be super beneficial for that, right? If you think about this, we're going to be receiving this divine guidance that wants to express itself out through the throat, right? Or through all the different forms of expression that we have. And then we're going to be receiving like ideas that are, again, in the sensing circuit. So they don't necessarily have to be analytical or strategic. They might just be more like, whoa, what is that? Wow, I've never thought about it that way. I've never kind of looked at it that way. Ooh, I never realized that maybe putting things together in that way could create the solution to this issue, right? Both of these are going to be challenging us and inviting us to break out of our habitual ways of understanding who we are, what's possible, who other people are, what we think is possible or not possible for them, and for the greater humanity. The 11, which is in the sensing circuit, really is about the collective, because it is collective circuitry. Whereas the 12 is individual circuitry, so it's very much about that bringing through the evolutionary impulse that runs through the chart, through the knowing circuit, and through individual circuitry. So there's a distinction in the qualities of the energy. I don't necessarily see a lot of tension the way I might if we had something lit up in the sensing circuit or the knowing circuit and then the logic circuit, because that's where we tend to get more tension. These two we could see as more complementary and ways that they could work together. Now, the one challenge is that if we get these really kind of out there ideas that come in through the 12, and then the 11 is like, well, I don't know what I think about that idea. Like, it doesn't fit with my ideas, right? But let's not create a problem here if there doesn't need to be one. I don't see this as being one of the more challenging ways that the sun and the earth alignment are doing that thing that they can do. I don't see that in this particular alignment so much. If you've been thinking about getting a quantum human design reading with me, now is a really good time to register for it, because my rate is going to go up as of January 1st. I've had the same rate for years, and I really do need to do that so that I feel more like it's an equal energy exchange, given what I have to offer. And I'm actually going to be adding on some things that I'm going to give to people when they do register for a reading. So you don't have to do your reading this year. You just need to buy it by the end of the year. And actually, I just have a few more times. They're going to happen before the winter solstice on the 21st. And then I'm going to close my office for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be back to do readings mid-January. But you can still go to sovereigntybydesign.com/readings. And until December 31st, you'll be able to register for your reading at the 2023 rate. And then it'll change on the 1st. It's also a nice gift for you to give if that would feel good to you, to be able to pass that on to somebody. Also, if you're considering getting a family reading or a relationship reading, same is true for all of these. So I would love to meet you and get to know you and to support you to fall even more in love with yourself based in your human design. Okay, many blessings. Much love. Bye for now.